Hi and good evening and welcome to THFC Till I Die. And we're back here with a post-match show from Chelsea against Tottenham Hotspurs from Stamford Bridge, where we went through a bloody hell of a roller coaster. 1 minute we were losing, Harry Kane pops up, puts it in the corner of the net, Stamford Bridge goes mad, and Conte goes and kicks Tuchel's ass all the way up and down the touchline because he's been spanked like a little baby. But good evening anyway, and welcome to this post-match show. Joining me on this show tonight is my usual two legends of the Spurs community. Philip Brady, he's the godfather. You don't mess with him. He tells you to do something, you do it, or Sky Sports is going on your telly. Philip, how are you this evening, sir?
Oh, how am I? Great. It went from agony to ecstasy in the space of 30 seconds there tonight. You know, it was just great. And I'd like to pay, if there's any Chelsea fans watching, you better leave now, but you're not going to be happy with what you're going to hear in the next hour or so.
And down below, well, this woman texted me. Well, she chatted in the watch along. She demanded a royal equaliser. Tottenham had to deliver for the Queen, or they would have faced her wrath. It's Queen Ellie Holberg. Ellie, he scored an equaliser. Spurs won. Got a point. I should say, I hope they won. How are you?
Yeah,
you got your voice back.
I know. I've got a little bit of a horsey voice, but I probably sound a little bit different to that tonight.
Yeah.
But we grinded that one out, didn't we, lads? We really grinded it out, the 2-2. But it was so amazing with Cucurella getting a haircut from Romero. He said, "Go to the hairdressers, mate." And then we score right at the death. It was a bit like the Leicester game. Euphoria at the end, you know. And Basuma going to the crowd and punch in the air. It was fantastic. I loved every minute of that match. Even though we weren't in it for most of it, but we battled. You have to grind out a result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are the results that win your leagues. When you don't play well,
Yeah.
they win your leagues. Look, we'll
That's
do a little
right.
bit. When we do a little bit of housekeeping, because I know Philip's got to shoot off in half an hour, so we'll get this Philip side of the question. Then Ellie, for the next sort of
Yes.
half an hour, it's all about you and what you think about Spurs. This is the Queen Ellie show after that. If you want to donate to our channel, there is the link to the PayPal account. You can. It helps us improve our channel. It helps us get better equipment, get better stuff, so we can put on better shows for you and more exciting shows for you. So that's our PayPal account. And also, if you want to become a Patreon member as well, like the Godfather and the Queen, they're both patrons, as well as Mile High Hotspur as well, who's in the chat. Please get your memberships as well. It does help. It does help us grow, and it does help us get better and put on better sides.
Yeah.
Well, we'll say a quick hello. Big up Zoe. She says, "Big up Dermot. What a great panel. Great second half. A point at the bridge is a big point." Yeah. It is. It is, and I'm happy with that. I said to his and through the watch along, I would take a point now, and I'd be happy, and we did. And she says, great. And then big up to the Mile High Hotspur, our sister channel in America. Big up Leo and Parker. I think Leo's going to pop on in a minute when he gets home from watching the Spurs thing from the pub. Game from the pub. So big up, lads. And we'll see you on here soon. Right, I'll start with you, Philip. Where is it now? Where am I going now? Oh, here we go. That's the team today. What would your player ratings be for that team today? I think we're having Philip's in the middle. Can you hear us, Philip?
He's frozen like the Chelsea defence when Kane equalised.
Yeah. Can you hear us there, Philip?
Throw the ball at Chelsea, and he got very little. Yeah, I can hear you about. I'm in the middle of a lightning storm at the minute. So
that's what it is.
Yeah.
That was Romero's goal. I mean, Højbjerg's goal. Sorry.
God, it's a Chelsea fan.
It's a Chelsea fan, yes.
Do you want to log back
they
out
said
and come back in again, Philip?
I'll log out back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, log in.
Ellie, I'll go with you. That was the Spurs lineup today.
Yeah.
What would you give them out of 10 for the whole team player ratings?
The whole team? What, on a whole team basis?
Go through like Luis to Romero.
I'll give Lloris. I'll give Lloris a 7 because he did make a really good save. Yeah. I'll give Romero a 9 for his shithousery and his determination to win the ball all the time. He didn't always win it, but he was the best defender we've ever. I thought Emerson played well as well. He did nothing wrong in my eyes.
No.
Dyer, I'll give a 6. Davis, I'll give a 6. Bentancur, I'll give an 8. Because what a great tackle he did on Havertz to lead to our goal.
I just love him pulling your man's hair. I mean, for me, that was just class.
I know. It was so funny as well because when they showed it back, he had a good old tug, didn't he?
He did. But he'll have to go and get a haircut now. I think Dave said that. He'll have to go and get a haircut now.
He's lost a few hairs there on the Chelsea pitch. Yeah. They'll be picking them up. All the groundsmen.
If you're ready to come back and give us a thumbs up, Philip.
Højbjerg, I'll give an 8. Sessegnon, a 5. Very poor. Kulusevski, 5. He was very poor. And if Kane hadn't scored, I would have given him a 5 as well. But I'll give him a 7 because he got that great goal. And that's what great strikers are all about.
Yeah.
They can play crap the whole of the match, but they'll come up when you need them. And Sonny, I'll give a 5 because he was off it, wasn't he?
He was.
Even though he assisted the goal,
he
was right off the pace. And he looked a bit tired, I would say. The weather was getting to him, I think.
Yeah, he didn't look his best. I mean, for me, I'll give
No.
Luis a 6. I mean, he couldn't
Yeah,
do anything with
that's
2
fair.
goals.
No, he was
Romero,
exposed.
I'll give him an 8 just for the pulling the hair alone. Just for
Do you know
doing
what
that
I
alone, he
mean?
gets an 8 from me or a 9. Just for doing that alone.
Yeah.
Dyer, I think he was at fault. I think for one of the chances Chelsea had, he was just jogging back.
Yeah.
I think put a couple of good tackles in.
He wasn't
Bring
that
Philip
bad.
back in here. So I
That's it.
I'll give him a 7. Davis 6. Bent Royale, I'll give him a 5. He cannot cross. He
Did
can
you?
defend, but he can't cross a ball. I'm sorry. I
He
just
did. He did a really good cross, but no one got on the end of it. It was It was
It's
a good
still going.
cross.
It's just gone past Dublin at the moment. The cross he put in.
I thought it was a pretty decent cross, and then he put
It's
in another one that the goalie saved. That was a pretty poor one, but he could have sneaked in.
Nasser have just reported it's gone out of Earth's atmosphere. It's heading to the moon. Bentancur, I give a 7. I thought he was brilliant. He was immense till he came off. Holberg, I give a 7 as well. I thought he started badly, but he grew into the game.
Yeah,
Great with
he
the
did.
equaliser. And again, Holberg does prove he is a decent player.
2 brilliant blocks as well, defensive blocks.
Segi, I thought he started well, but then tired off as the game went on. So I'll give him a 6. Kuvaseski, I'll give him a 6. More for passion than anything else.
Yeah.
Harry, I give an 8. You know, not his great performance, but was there when we need him. And then Son, I give a 6. Not his greatest game, but
no,
you know, maybe you're right, Ellie. Maybe he's tired. He just hasn't hit.
He looks
the
a
ground
bit out of
yet.
sorts.
Yeah,
yeah. But at least he assisted the goal. That's the main thing.
That's why he gets a 6 from me. Philip, what would you give your player ratings to the team today?
Lloris 6, because he had nothing to do really. Romero, I would give
pick the ball out of the net.
Purely for the way he roughed up any Chelsea sacker that came near him. I'd say, what's his name? Cucurella, whatever you call him, be heading to the barbers tomorrow. He doesn't want that to happen to him again. Dyer 7, David 7. I disagree with you a bit on Emerson Royale. I thought he was better than that now, to be honest.
I think he was as well. I think he had a decent game, in it, Philip?
Yeah, but his tackling was good and his covering was good, you know. So I give him a 7. Bentancur 6. Hoiberg, now if he'd played like he did in the first half, I'd only be giving him a 4, but
a 1.
Give him a 7
he did pick up
and the goal.
Yeah,
Sessignon 6 really got into it. Kulachevsky 6, he never got into it all. Kane 7, not his greatest game, but he did the business in the end. And Son, I'll just give him a 5 because he gave the ball away numerous times in the first half, and nearly cost us at times.
Yeah,
as you say, Son is just not hitting the spots at the moment, but he will do. He will. Now the substitutes, I would give. I know they haven't come up there. I would give.
Hang on, I'll get them now for you.
7. If honorably sent in.
Just putting himself about, wasn't he, Richarlison?
And Bissouma for the leader. He put himself up. He went up to the crowd at the end of the match, and he's scraping the scent.
I love that.
I'll tell you one thing for me with Bissouma. He changed the game for me. Him and Richarlison both changed the game for me.
Yeah, they did. Because they came on and they were stronger and authoritative and they put themselves about, especially Richarlison. I thought he gave his all. You know, he chased down balls that weren't quite accurate as well. You know, I thought he'd done very well when he came on.
And Perisic, how do you think he did? I'll start with you, Philip. How do you think Perisic did when he came on?
He didn't do much, did he?
No,
not really. Put in a poor cross. If that was Emerson doing it, we would give him beef, wouldn't we?
Yeah, that's very true. I think
Philip
Philip's
with us? He's
Like, he
having a
didn't
bit
do
of
a whole
trouble.
lot. So he
No,
wasn't on that long. But
No,
what he did do,
no, not really.
he's yeah, I can hear you.
Hmm.
I'll tell you what, the problem I've got is the lightning storm here.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Oh Lord,
Cucurella's hair.
it is.
It's
It
flown
is.
up into the
It,
thing and causing
it,
lightning in Ireland.
it's Conte. It's Conte. That's what it's doing. It's Conte throwing the tantrum there. To that bloody Churchill.
Yeah. So you will shake my hand,
Yeah,
bitch.
and Philip's disappeared. He's gone off to sort out
Yeah.
Churchill now.
He's gone to sort out the lightning.
He has. Ellie, I just wondered, there was a bit of news I found out yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to talk to you and Philip about it, and then we'll get back to the Chelsea game.
Yes.
Firstly, a bit of news here that Alfie Devine came off the under-21 game the other night with a hamstring injury.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how bad it is. I'll look into it more, and I will put up in the community section of our channel how bad and how long he's out for.
Yeah.
Just very quickly, it's tough on the lad, though. He didn't play well in the last under-21 game. So it's tough on him, but it will give him a chance to... If he's out for a while, does that cause him problems for this season for breaking into the first team?
I heard, I can't remember which channel I was watching, but I heard that somebody picked him up to take him on loan.
Yeah, I heard
from
that
the
too.
ground.
I don't know where, though.
I think it was Tottenham away who said it. I think it might have been Stelios. He said that somebody picked him up from the training ground to take him on loan, but he didn't mention the team that he was going to. So now he's picked up a hamstring. That may put the dampers on it for a little while.
Yeah.
Unless he's signed the deal. We'll soon find out in the next few days anyway.
We will.
What's happening, what's cooking in that area.
But big up, Alfie. I hope you get well soon, mate.
Yeah.
And, we're all with you here.
Good on you, lad. Talented boy.
A great, talented young lad for the future.
Yeah.
Now, Ellie, we've got our wish. You put it up on our Twitter page. Mr. Burger King has gone to Napoli. It's a shame Mark isn't here because we could have had this whole Maradona joke again.
I know.
He's gone there. Is he going for the white stuff or is he going for the burgers or, all right, forget all that.
He's going for the pineapple and the pizza, isn't he? I don't know. It's a strange one, isn't it, Napoli?
Thank God we've got him out of the club. Him, the Celso are going.
Do you know what? I think Italy is suiting more.
Yeah, I think it will.
The style of play is very slow and deliberate. They build up. He'll have more time on the ball.
Yeah.
And he probably won't. He'll probably be given a free rein. They'll probably say to him, don't worry about the defence. Just go and do your business. And if you don't do your business, you're going to get chopped. You know, the Italians, they don't take no shit, do they? They want you to perform week in, week out. Yeah.
Just to let you know that Philip's internet has gone completely due to a lightning storm.
That's a shame.
So big up,
that's a shame.
It's a
Maybe
shame,
Izan will join us soon.
Yeah,
you never know.
So. If not, Ellie, it would just be you and me.
That's all right. We can carry the show. Don't you worry.
The show. Right, let's get back. Everyone's joined us for a post-match. Let's get back in. Right.
Yes.
All right. How did you find today's game to watch, Ellie?
It was like a roller coaster, wasn't it?
And it was.
The first half. We started off well. The first 7, 8, 9 minutes, we were on the ball. We were tapping it around, not really causing them a lot of problems, but we had a little bit of fight in us, and then just Chelsea took over. They just rampaged us. But the good thing is, at half time, when I saw the stats, and they were comparing how many chances they had, and they only put one away, and we had 2 chances, and we didn't put any of away, but they were both on target. See, that was the difference. We were more decisive in front of goal. You know, they had so many more chances than us. And I think our defence coped reasonably well, you know, and the midfielders, Højbjerg and Bentancur, they got the better of them in the second half. And when Richarlison came on, that was the icing on the cake for us because he put himself about, and then Romero stepped up as well, which I really liked. Because, you know, sometimes you've got to give the opposition a bit of a dig to tell them we're in this game. And that's what Romero did from us. He led by example and he got the team fired up. You
He
know,
did.
I was very impressed with him.
I was. For me, it was a roller coaster. Um, of a game. 1 minute you're up, next minute you're down, next
Yeah,
minute you're angry,
I
next
know.
minute you're cheering. It was mentally exhausting, I
I
have to
know.
say.
It's
But
like I was with my
something,
family today, and it was
yeah,
funny. It was so
it,
funny. They weren't really watching it like me, but my
yeah,
husband was watching it with me.
something though reminded me of when you play badly and you pick up a point. That means
Yes.
you teams have done it over the years. League
Oh
champions have done it
yeah.
over the years. They've picked
Yeah.
up points by not playing well. And
Yeah.
we've a team of old. I mean, Philip Brady said to me at the back before we went on live, if that was Tottenham 2 or 3 years ago, we would have folded.
Yeah. We would have.
Would have lost that
Yeah.
3 or 4-1. But we
We've got
kept, and
strength in character.
yeah, I don't know if that's come from Conte or his passion from touchline, or when
Yeah.
after we equalised with Conte and Tuchel got into it. I don't know if that
Mm.
fired up the players even more. Think, hang on a minute, we need to do it for the boss here. We need to play on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because the bench led by example as well. Their
yeah,
passion went onto the pitch, and
mm,
we stepped up. We weren't brilliant in the second half. We
no,
can't fool ourselves, but we
no,
grinded out the result.
we
And
did.
look, Kane came up with the equaliser, and I went crazy. You know what? Football's a funny old game, right? Because you're up, down one time,
Yeah,
up the next, then down again,
mm,
and then up. And as long as you finish on a high, I think that's really good for
yeah,
the next game going into that next game. I think we're gonna ride on the crest of a wave again, you
yeah.
know. And I think we got, is it Forest next? We got, is
No, we've
that
got
right?
Wolves at
Or
home
is it
next game.
Wolves? We got Wolves
Yeah,
next. We got Wolves
mm,
at home next. Now that's payback time, you see,
yeah.
because we played atrocious against them last season,
Don't,
so we
Ellie,
got a
don't,
chance to put it right.
Ellie, don't.
Yeah, I don't want to remind you of it. It was
You're
terrible.
triggering me.
It was the
You just
it was the
trigger me
game
now.
my Højbjerg was dropped for as well, which I was
Yeah, I was.
very
Do you know
angry
what? I
about.
was actually more disappointed he didn't get picked for that game because I was looking forward to seeing him play. And I
Yes, I
always
know.
remember Segerson being taken off early because of
I know.
um, who got injured.
Tactical change. It
Yeah,
was just, I think somebody got injured and then it was a
mm,
tactical change. And to see him walking off was a sorry sight, wasn't it? It reminded
it
me
was.
of Ricky Villa in the FA
Yeah.
Cup final. But
Um.
Sessegnon, he's a strong character now. He's got to take the lows with the highs because he
mm,
was on a high last week, on a low this week because he got substituted. You know,
yeah.
he wasn't having a particularly good game. He
Mm.
didn't have a bad game, but he just didn't have it. You know, that oomph that he did
No,
with
I think
the
he got.
Southampton match.
I think Ellie he tired as the game went on. I think he just generally just
Yeah,
got tired.
yeah,
Um,
he's still
I
young.
I think today I think Conte, what a manager, what a manager he is.
Brilliant, brilliant.
He
Uh,
knew straight away within 10 minutes. I need to change it here. I need to bring
yeah,
him up. He if that was Nuno or if that was say Mourinho, they wouldn't have
yeah,
changed it as quick as
no,
as as they changed it. Conte changed it
yeah.
straight away. So for me, I was impressed of Conte, but for me, it was a hard watch. It was a roller coaster of a of
Yeah,
a of a of a game.
I think what those substitutions gave us is a bit of momentum, you
Mm,
know, because you had three in midfield then,
mm,
right? You stopped the through balls coming in so much. We were
yeah.
winning the ball higher up, and then we went on the attack. So we had a
Mm,
lot more attacks as soon as we made those changes. Some of
mm.
the passing was a bit woeful, but if we got our passing right, we could have even won that because
I do not, yeah.
our passing wasn't on point, was it?
No, it
No.
wasn't. And I was thinking, I was saying to Izan, we got William Kelly texting us in the chat.
I
Don't give up, lads. We can do this. We
love
can win this.
William.
And me and Izan are
Yes,
watching it, thinking they haven't got a hell's chance. And
I know.
then
It just seemed that way.
I think something inside you coming into injury time. I can say we can win this. We can get a point here.
Yeah,
We can get a goal here. and it was just brilliant. So yeah, it was a roller coaster. So the way we can describe it.
Yeah.
Are you happy with a point from
I
today's game?
am. If we'd been in the lead and then they got the equaliser, I wouldn't have been happy. But because the way the point came across, and it was right at the death as well, it's exciting when that happens.
It
The
is.
last time that happened was at Leicester City, and that was like fantastic as well. But you know, when you get a point and you grind out a result, it shows character, it shows strength from the bench to the number 11, you know. And I thought we weren't in the game as much as I wanted to be in the game, and our passing was bad. I thought our passing was particularly bad, but Chelsea's was awesome. They were zipping the ball past us all the time. But the good thing is we stuck on in there, and I was confident that we'd get a result, you know, even though we weren't much in the game. I just thought we're going to nick a point here, and I was so happy at the end.
Yeah, I just want to say a big shout out to United Spurs of America. It says big up Tottenham till I die, big up lads.
Jacob
and Ellie,
and Michael.
You won there on Friday, so special
Yeah, I
mention
was.
to them.
It was brilliant. Oh yeah, thank you, lads. I enjoyed my time, and Jacob and Michael. Jacob's stories, they're out of this world. I'm telling you, they're amazing, and they get you laughing so much. I couldn't stop laughing. And then there was Bobby. He was all medicated up from his back injury. It was hilarious. We had a good time.
I'm just getting some of the stats up from today's game. If I can find the stat. I mean, we didn't seem to be in our box. I think at one point it was they had 16 touches in our box to our 3 in their box. Does that worry you that we didn't penetrate, or is that just? Do you think it was a really hot? Does the weather play some factor into it? It was a really hot day.
It's the same for both teams, so we can't use that as an excuse, really. What I thought, we didn't have enough intensity, like against Southampton.
Yeah.
It was high press, high intensity. The fitness showed through. But this game, we were all quite lackluster. You know, we just didn't have. We had the fire in our belly, but it was just like our legs weren't following the fire. It was like they were really heavy. And we just didn't get into the game. They roller coasted us. But like I said, when you're not playing well, when you get a draw like that, you got to be happy. You got to be happy.
Oh, Ellie, we've got royalty. We have literally royalty coming on.
Oh,
it's
lovely.
It's the man from New York. It's the home where Mike Tyson lives. This man comes in. He doesn't come in with stats. He comes in with big left hooks and punches.
Hello, Jack.
How are you, Jack?
How are you?
I feel like I need a Tylenol, everybody. That was a headache of a game, wasn't it?
It was.
I said
it
to
really
Ellie, it was like a mental watch. 1 minute you're up, next minute you're down, next minute you're angry, next minute you're, really excited. It's like, I need a whiskey.
It's a roller coaster. It's like I'm screaming at the telly as well. I'm screaming my head off because Tuchel got on my nerves as well, not just their players, because they were zipping it past us all the time and we weren't laying a glove on them.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is not going to be good.
It's one of those games as well where you just feel like, you want Spurs, to, put up more of a fight. And it felt like they were, but they just couldn't. It felt like, at the end of the day, we really just weren't the better team, and Chelsea were, at least the better team when it came to holding the ball and whatnot, and just dictating the game. But we still kept getting those, moments just to believe that, we were still in it, which just makes it such a headache and makes it so draining. And, it's all the worthwhile, especially, and what did we guys say? It would take a miracle even to get a point, at Stamford Bridge, because every single time, Ellie, we always have something that doesn't go our way, at Stamford Bridge. And for once, it felt like we had the luck, maybe come our side, in certain. I
thought Højbjerg done very well in that second half. He done 2 fantastic blocks, and he put himself about with Romero. And what a fantastic goal he scored! Brilliant. Who said he can't score goals? Come on.
What a
Come
goal,
on,
though.
Højbjerg.
His annual long
Brilliant
shot.
goal.
His annual long
Right
shot.
into the bottom left-hand corner. And Sonny assisted him, I believe. I can't remember, but I think it was Sonny who got it to him. Yeah. But it was like they were battering us.
Yeah.
And we were trying to get into the game, but we just couldn't.
Yeah. Ellie, we're now being joined by another royalty. It's Jack's right hand, right hand man. I don't want to say left hand man because I don't know what that.
Oh, magic!
That could sound pretty bad. This fella is the fighting man out of Kildare. He is the one. He is the only. Mr. David Harris. How are you?
David Harris. Woo! Hello, David.
Come on, you Spurs. I'm absolutely buzzing.
I know.
Today,
man.
Today, this jersey done us proud. It done us proud.
Yes.
Come on, you Spurs.
We've got one more person. We've got Milehouse. We've got our sister channel from America, Leo from Milehouse. How are you doing, Leo?
Big up, Leo. Big up.
What's up, you guys? How you doing? What a wonderful jersey, David. What a wonderful jersey.
I love it, my man. I love it. What year is yours?
How's everybody? I think this is 91. The semifinal.
That was from the 80s, 88. That was the first season. So from 88 to 91, we wore that jersey.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
I'm over the moon. I'm absolutely over the moon. Look, first of all, we got Thomas Tuchel rattled. The way he celebrated that second goal, he channeled his inner Jose. He went running down the touchline. Reece James, Chelsea fans all thought they won it. But you know what? They weren't expecting the raid of Harry Kane today. And ultimately, that's what happened. They got absolutely raided. They crumbled. They didn't realize that this was a different Tottenham team. Romero pulling Cucurella's hair, stroke of genius, took Chelsea completely out of the zone. And then from the resulting corner, Harry Kane is the one that rises like a phoenix. You know, it answered so many questions today. At halftime going into the game, a lot of people were putting it all on Kane and Højbjerg. I was seeing everywhere, take him off, blah, 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 blah. Get Kane off, get Højbjerg off. They're useless. No one wanted to talk about Sonny losing the ball nearly 15 times inside 23 minutes. The whole thing was, Son was our out ball. He kept on losing it. So Harry Kane was told to stay up top. If you can't get him the ball, that's not his problem. Højbjerg scored in the second half, went on to have a brilliant second half, along with Harry Kane scoring. So what I will say is if we're going to put the blame, you can't put that first half blame on two players only. And I've seen a lot of that. We can't keep reverting to type and picking out two players on their own and blaming them. At some stage, you've got to blame the whole team as a whole. And that first half was down to a lack of effort, a lack of desire, a lack of hunger, and they all went hiding. But the two players that I seen question the most at halftime were the ones that stood up and got counted today.
Yeah. I lost my voice today, you guys. I lost my voice, man. Leo.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you, my man.
Happy birthday,
we sacrificed a point for
Happy
you.
birthday,
we at least get a point. Do you feel a lot better now? Would it have been, do you feel, at least a lot better today now that we got a point?
Let's just look at it this way, you guys. We came back twice this game, so that's a plus. Usually when we go down 1-0, not only at Stamford Bridge, at any place, even in our own stadium last year, when we went down 1-0, let's be real, guys. If we came back, we were lucky. This game is a different team. This season is a different team. The way we came back, the resilience we showed, guys, that's 2 points dropped for Chelsea. So that's two. That's a point picked up for us. It's okay. I'm all right with that. The lads did good. David, you hit it spot on, brother. The second half was a lot better showing than the first half. The players that needed to step up definitely showed up. But my hat's off to them, man. It was definitely a great game, a nervy game. But at the end of the day, the lads did what they needed to do. I mean, let's be real. And like you said, the pulling of Cucurella's hair was just that's icing on the cake.
You go watch games in the 70s, 80s, 90s. You see that every week. It's a throwback.
Yeah.
It's the oldest trick in the book. It's beautiful.
Let me just add another thing to that, you guys. What about our coach? Big up our manager. Big him up, you guys. I don't think there's any other manager in the world, honestly, that's gonna have that emotion. Tuchel came out and said he didn't look me in my eye. Man, whatever. All that is rubbish, my man. That's rubbish, dude. Yeah, thank you. What a fucking pussy. Like, come on, you guys. Just class, sheer class from our manager. Ellie, how you doing, Queen?
Nope.
You there, Ellie?
I am here, but you can't see me.
No, we
No,
can't
Yes, we
see
can.
We can see you.
How you doing,
Oh,
Ellie?
right. It's a black
We can
screen.
hear and see you.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I'm doing all right, Leo. How are you?
Oh,
This
Now
is
we
well, I'm
why
can't hear
we
doing.
you.
nickname Ellie the Ghost.
Yeah, I'm doing good, Ellie. I'm doing good. I have some video footage that I'm gonna send your way. I was actually text messaging with Parker, the other half of Mile High Hotspur,
Yeah.
and I told him he asked me what I thought about the game beforehand, and I sent him a message. I said, Hoiberg's gonna score. Hoiberg's gonna score. I got the video proof. I got the message. I'm gonna put it in the WhatsApp group because I called Hoiberg's goal. I mean, I wish the rest of the result would have went like I thought, 4-2. But you can't win them all, you guys. Definitely a good way to start the week. Uh, Big up, Mick.
I've got
Yeah.
a few.
So
I've got a few things to touch on there with what you're saying, my man. Look, Antonio Conte standing up, being counted as well, roughed them up, got them rattled. It was absolutely brilliant. And then at the end, I mean, absolutely loved the shithousery. The reason
yeah,
why Conte didn't look Tuchel in the eyes is because Tuchel went running down the touchline for the second goal, trying to get back at Conte because Conte. Oh, did you see when Conte
yeah,
celebrated Højbjerg's goal right up in his face? He just got lost in it. He celebrated. He seen Tuchel stand in front of him, and he just started giving it to him. I mean, this is what I want my players to do. I want my players to go out there and give it to them. To see my manager do that,
yeah,
my God, I can't wait to see the way these
yeah,
players are going to celebrate against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Another thing,
yeah,
Yeah.
our transfer window came to fruition today. Bringing in Perisic helped change that game. Bringing on Richarlison got us higher up the pitch, got us into that game. Made Chelsea change the way they were playing. Made them start and go long ball. That came to fruition today. Look, no doubts about it. We were absolutely dog crap for 60 minutes. Dog shit. I was
We
pulling
were.
my hair out. But at the end of the day, the best teams, when you don't play well, you still get out there with a result. And
yeah.
today, big questions going into it. Does this team have the mentality? Can you pull it back going down at Stamford Bridge? Not only did we pull it back once, but we done the double. We pulled it back twice. So mentality, this team has got it. And I just great to see everybody fighting. And then Conte in the scuffle at the end. You seen all the coaching staff. That the masseuse was in there, the kick guy was in there. You seen the whole team running in there. That camaraderie you cannot buy. That team is together. And what that result does today is bring more togetherness, bring more excitement, more belief, more passion, and we are going to go places this season.
I mean, I saw Ryan Mason at one point kicking the chair when Chelsea scored. He was there literally passionate.
I know.
More passion than what he showed when he was playing.
Yeah, definitely.
Conte. I was watching Conte on the touchline, and it's like an animal. That man breeds. That man breeds. Passion.
Caged animal. He didn't forget what they'd done.
Yeah. I actually live. I actually live when we score a goal and I see Conte and the bench's reaction. I love it. It's full of passion. It fires you up, doesn't it, lads?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
I feel like Tuchel got so into it though, because we all know he's a Spurs fan. So he has to hide his affection or I bet he's kind of very conflicted about it. Where once Conte got him riled up, he just felt like he had to let it all out in order to maybe not seem like the rumors are true, because I bet the Chelsea fans are most rattled by that, as is that he did admit being a Spurs fan as a kid. So maybe that's why he ran down the whole touchline. He just wanted to kind of let it all out, all that anxiety that he had. I bet he was absolutely rattled.
Yeah,
he got his pants pulled down today live on Sky Sports. I mean,
that's right. That's right.
They got raided more than what a drug dealer done today. They got absolutely served up right at the end. He couldn't write it. And for Harry Kane to come out with the winner, I mean, it's a great day for me. If you're Harry Kane's number one fan, it's a fantastic day.
I tell you what, Dave, you didn't seem ready for a good 80-plus minute of the match.
Doesn't matter.
But you know full well, if one chance is going to fall, you wanted to fall to that man because he
Dermot,
will put it away.
I said this on my watch long. Last
Yeah.
year, all summer long, all you heard was, oh, why doesn't Harry Kane get taken off? Why is Harry Kane still on the pitch? Why do we, like, Kane thinks he runs this club. He never comes off, you know? Well, today, there's your answer. Never question it again. The reason why Harry Kane doesn't come off is because if anyone's going to score in the Lions, then it's going to be bloody him.
Yeah.
So that's why he doesn't get taken off. So that's another question answered. So I don't want to hear that question asked anymore.
No. Well, this question I will ask you, and I'll start with you, Mr. Harris, down there. Now you're in your full flow. With picking up a point today, is that a sign of winning the league? Because teams in the past, when they've played badly, they've picked up points and they've gone on to league championships or win up cups or things. Is that a point today prove that we can never say die actually we can win something this season?
Where have I seen late goals before? Oh, yeah, last season under Conte stewardship.
Yeah.
Leicester, Watford. There's another couple of games in there, late goals. What did that do? It made the difference for Champions League come the end of the season. This season, picking up them points where everyone chalked it down as a Chelsea win, that's a point gain. Liverpool last week against Fulham, absolute dog shit. Still got out there with a point. They're going to be title challengers this year. Now, if we can get out of Stamford Bridge, Scunthorpe Bridge, because I rolled through with my tank today. It's probably now flattened. It's just not even a bridge anymore. It's absolutely ridiculous, lad. But because we done that today, we got out of there when everyone chalked it off. That's why we're going to be in a title challenge this season. Things like that. It comes down to mentality. What this club lacked under Pochettino was mentality. What we've got now under Conte is mentality. And that says a lot. That could be the difference between getting over the line and being serial losers. And Conte is not a serial loser. And neither will Tottenham be anymore.
I mean, Jack, you've seen it over the years. You've seen Man United do it with Fergie time. How many times have we seen Man United get last minute? You even see it with the great Liverpool side of the 80s. All these great sides keep going and pick up points or wins at the end. How confident are you that Spurs can now capitalise after today's result and just move forward with this new winning mentality that we seem to be picking up at the club now?
It is a good point, though, to bring up that Fulham game because, like, Liverpool were getting absolutely outrun, and absolutely outplayed, by Fulham. But like David said, they managed to somehow pick up a point. Spurs in the exact same fashion, to the most part, got absolutely kind of outplayed, by Chelsea in a large periods of the game. And, really didn't look like they had any chance, to pull themselves into it. But somehow they did. And that really is just entirely different from the Spurs of the past. The Spurs of the past, once that second goal goes in, you're actually more worried about 3 or 4 going in, where it felt like, as fans, we just were more just upset that, we hadn't, been equalizing. We were just looking forward to Spurs just turning it around. The fans, I think, would kind of probably be kidding themselves if we went, 2-0 down or whatever it'd be, to Chelsea, if we could get back into it. If it kind of feels like now, Dermot, like, Spurs fans, if we went 2-0 down, 1-0 down, maybe a team goes up, against the run of play. For once, Spurs fans can actually have confidence that, their team should find a way in order to get back into it. Previous years, like, could you really say Spurs should find a way? Like, it's not like they really had, any firepower, available to them, to actually, do anything different. All they had was really just Kane, Son, and maybe just an odd, own goal, every now and again that would just, come in, for us. So this time it's just very, very different where Spurs fans, if we do go 1-0 down, if we are just level in the 70th minute with the team we shouldn't be, expect that maybe we will get, the points that we do need.
Yeah.
Ellie, you and me have seen great teams in the past of the 80s with Keith Birkinshaw. Even that Philip sort of saw the Bill Nix side, but we saw the Keith Birkinshaw side in the 80s. I'll start with you with this, Leo, then go to you, Ellie. Leo, have we shrugged off that Spursy sort of, I hate the word Spursy. I don't think it should never be used, but a lot of fans were using it. Have we now shrugged off that Spursy type mentality now that we're not an easy rollover?
Yeah, I agree. I hate the term Spursism. I hate being told Spurs are always going to be Spursy. But let's be real, Dermot. For the longest time, it's been looming over our head that Spurs do bobble it like that. You know, we could beat City one week and go and lose to Burnley the next week. That's just how it's been. But there's a change in our club, and there has been a change for the past 7 months. This manager that we have has cut all that bullshit out. He's not going to have it. And if you're going to show any signs of weakness, you're going to be off to somewhere else, or you're not going to be on the team. You're not even going to be on the bench. So I think we've nipped that right in the butt. I don't think Conte has any fear that there's still Spursism going around his club. Conte is showing he's showing what it is to be a leader. He's the leader of our team, and our team is a reflection of our coach. Our team is a reflection of our leader, and if our leader shows Spursism, then that's what our team is going to go by. Our team right now is a bunch of warriors. We're a bunch of savages. Why? Because our coach is a freaking savage, and that's what he demands from his players. And like I said, if you show any signs of being Spursy, if you show any signs of not hustling 120% of the game, if you show any signs of weakness, he's going to smell it. Why? Because he's a born killer. He's born for games like this. He's born to live for this type of atmosphere. And if you're not going to be on his team, I'm one of them type of people, Dermot. If you're not going to be like that for me, I don't want nothing to do with you, you know? And that's what that's the type of attitude Conte brings. There's only one way we're going to go with the situation, and that's up. There's only one destination, and that's up. Conte is not going to settle for less. And I couldn't be more proud to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan, knowing that my coach, the coach of the team that I follow, the coach of the team that I love, I tattooed on I carry this team on my sleeve. And my coach is willing to die, is willing to put his reputation on the line so that his players could follow suit. Man. Mamma mia. You know what I mean?
I just want to add to that Spursy team. Look, when it comes to Spursy, it also has to be eradicated from the fan base as well. We can't just wait on the team to do it because, look, too many times, we want to revert back to type as soon as we're losing with transfer window, this, that, and the other, etc., etc., etc. People told me today, Dave, you're way too pumped up going into this game. You're expecting way too much. Well, instead of always expecting the worst, why don't you start expecting the best? And let's see what can be delivered around here. We're always just waiting to start having a go at the team again, waiting to start having a go at the players again, waiting to blame the owners again, waiting to blame Paratici, waiting to question Conte. We've got to stop that. We've now got, instead of expecting the worst, start expecting the bloody best. That team showed up today with mentality. Now we have to start doing it as well. Start believing going into these games insteof expecting the worst.
Yes. Amen, brother. Amen. Amen.
Yeah, spot on.
I've said it before. This season, I asked Levy to back Conte. He backed Conte. I'm happy with that. The team are playing well. I will back the team till I die. I will back Conte till I die. We've got to get behind the team. If we want to be successful, we have to all together as one unit get behind the players and the management. Forget about everything else.
Yeah.
It's just...
What my issue is at times, though, straight away, we're kind of going for players' throats. And I see this a lot. Like Højbjerg, like Kane, who's been there through the tough times over the last few years, who have stood up and been counted through the tough times over the last few years.
Yeah.
And now I just see us going for their throats. Like today, going into halftime. So I've seen it across loads of channels. Højbjerg, Kane. It's like, let's not turn it back on people that have turned up here when the going has been extremely tough. And again today, who showed up again today in the second half? We've got to start putting out players that we know are not good enough, or start calling it fair. Like the whole 11 today in the first half was crap. People were putting out Højbjerg, but what did Bentancur do in the first half? He done exactly like Højbjerg, jack shit. But no one talked about Højbjerg, or no one talked about Bentancur. I love Sonny. But if Kane put in a performance Sonny did today, that would be a massive talking point all over Spurs YouTube, all over Spurs socials. Kane. But Sonny will get a pass today. Sessegnon, another player who'll get a pass today, who was god-awful, But we want to go for Kane. We want to go for Højbjerg. These guys stood up and were counted in our worst of times.
Yeah.
I have got a question there. In one of my questions was, how bad was Son's performance today? And I was not going to give him a free pass. Because I don't think he was good. But this question, I'll start with you, Ellie, then I go, whoever wants to answer after Ellie, I'll go with the flow. Have we changed the way we defended? Koulibaly had miles of room when he scored the goal. Ellie, start with you, and then whoever wants to.
I don't see any particular change in our defensive mishaps because we made 2 goofs really. Kulusevski could have done better, but I thought he was pushed for the second goal. And the first goal, it was atrocious marking. It was zonal marking, but there was only little Sterling, who's about 5'5", and there was 5 players around him, and at the back there was 3 Chelsea players just waiting to score, and none.
You there, Ellie?
That was a good point, though.
It was. Do you want to carry on from that point, Jack?
That was a very good point about the zonal marking. I think I'm looking forward to watching it back. Maybe with a fresh pair of eyes at some stage. But I think that probably was maybe a victim of zonal marking because it did seem like every single time, Koulibaly would just take up the same position or the same sort of kind of outside, kind of the realms of threat sort of kind of position in the box. And he did kind of offer something, very dangerous from there. But Spurs, didn't seem to really care or didn't seem to, notice or, really be able to respond to it, which would then mean it was probably some sort of zonal marking system, because if it was like actually man for man marking, obviously then, they would be yelling at somebody, to get, control. But if it is some sort of zone system, then they might think they're okay when they're really not, when they're actually not actually in a good position there. I think that was a good point actually made by Ellie. But when it comes to the second goal, a lot of people have said it was actually, Dyer's fault. I feel like it was kind of the whole team's fault. Someone maybe brought up in our, kind of chat that I think we were switching to a back 4 or something, kind of in that moment. And I believe we were kind of caught out, just in that, process of kind of the whole team switching, because it really just looked like we had probably 80 to 90% of our 11 players, stuck on one side of the pitch for some reason. Højbjerg and Bentancur were right next to each other. As much as maybe I'm going to look back on it, maybe it probably was more Dyer's fault, but I remember when I first saw it, Højbjerg and Bentancur weren't helping themselves out by standing right next to each other on the sideline of this, just glued to the sideline right next to each other. I don't really see a reason for that. And then as well, I believe we kind of had abandoned, our left back, Ben Davies. Like I kind of felt bad for Ben Davies there because he was basically defending the middle of the pitch all by himself. I mean, in actuality, he's really a left back and he shouldn't be, defending the middle of the pitch by himself in that sort of situation. So atrocious defending on both counts. In fact, what was actually great about this game was there were probably 4 horrible goals that kind of, went in, in this case. I think in the first goal for Chelsea, as much as, Koulibaly's effort was pretty spectacular, it was pretty garbage, defending, from a set piece. Like if someone manages to get a volley like that off in your own box from a set piece, that's just atrocious defending. It's not really, that great of attacking, you would say. And then in the second one, I just explained how bad that goal was. And then just again, atrocious defending. In Chelsea's case, a pretty, fluke goal. Højbjerg just shoots it through a lot of bodies and, it just gets in there. And then Harry Kane's, he hits it with enough, force that Reece James just panics and, probably helps it in some way or another. Might have actually gone in anyways, but from the angle, maybe Reece James just got so rattled that he felt like he had to clear it, kind of helped it in. And I just loved that all 4 goals were pretty trashy goals, as well, just made it, pretty epic. And to see managers, as well, Dermot, absolutely running down the length of a pitch, for the worst goal,
I know.
The weekend, is also, great. The scrappiest of goals. And we're seeing, Thomas Tuchel and Conte, get all fired up, from the scrappiest of goals.
I swear to God, Tuchel looked scared when Conte went nose to nose with him. You could see him, you could see the knees starting to get weak, and it was just brilliant. We haven't had that sort of manager for a long time in our dugout. No. Someone that's willing to, go toe to toe.
That's what we need, though, Dermot. We need that. We need that.
Just a couple of things on what Jack said there.
Yeah.
First of all, Højbjerg's goal. If you remember back, let's not forget near the end of the season, he hit the post against Liverpool. He's had a couple of chances from the edge of that box So that's constantly being there, repetitively being there to have some of them pop shots. So he got his reward today. But also on the defending, I mean, look, Jack loves Ben Davies. I don't feel sympathy a bit towards Ben Davies. So do you. So does Ellie, actually. Ellie loves him too more than Harry Kane. Disappointed there.
I had nothing to do
Only
with when
for
she
last
said that,
season.
Dave. I had nothing to do with that bit.
Only for last season, Dave.
The reason why I don't feel sorry for Ben Davies is because he's got him out. Use it.
Yeah.
He knows he's got two people there. He knows if that ball breaks and they win the ball, it's 2-on-1. Open your mouth, scream at Dyer, pull him across. You know, communication, it's key. I've played the game. We've all played the game. Communication is key. Someone across that back line, from whether you're under 8s, Sunday League, or professional, you need a talker across that back line.
Yeah.
Davies is well able to open his mouth. I mean, I get told to speak Japanese, Chinese, fucking Mandarin, you know, Argentinian, Spanish, you name it, they all speak it. Well, surely between all the multi-bilingual languages that are, because they're all so multi-bilingual and all of a sudden it makes them a leader, pick one language out of the 20 you're supposed to speak and fucking communicate. Then goals do not happen if there's communication. Koulibaly, main threat, one of the biggest guys in the box. You leave him free. Again, Sonny gave away the ball like he did last week. A lot of people blamed Højbjerg. Could have done better, but Sonny gave away that ball last week that led to their goal. Also gave away that ball that led to their goal today. But then, okay, Sonny made a mistake. This is what I've asked against other teams. You make that mistake, go and clear that corner. Sonny stood there. He wasn't even aware Koulibaly was playing.
He was in cloud cuckoo land.
Should not happen. Like, this set-piece coach can set them up positionally, put them in the best positions that gives them the best percentage to go and win a ball. But what you can't teach is that inner hunger to go and fucking meet it with your head. Put your head on the line. You either have that or you don't have that. We don't have it. That's why we keep conceding from set pieces every single season. We've had this problem since Jose Mourinho. It's one of the areas we have not spent enough money on to address. Spent money in midfield, spent money at wing back, spent money up front. The only money we spent at centre back, Romero. You know, he's not the biggest of guys. So we have to address that by spending money in that position.
Yeah,
there's
I
just
agree.
no communication. 2 minutes later, another corner kick comes in. I'm sitting there. Surely they've learned the lesson. Someone's got to be picking up Koulibaly. Again, free.
I know.
I'm sitting there screaming. I'm sitting there. Where did I see this before? Brentford first half last season. 3 corners, Ivan Toney, run to the back post, free shot and our goal. It can't keep continuing. If we had a leader out there, let's stop pretending we have a leader. Dyer played great, good season last season. Davies, even better season last season. But just because they're good, they were okay. They've been here a long time and people want to see them succeed. Stop pretending that they're leaders. Admit their flaws. None of them are leaders back there. None of them are communicators. That's why you see these stupid errors, these stupid goals conceded. Ben Davies won today. Reece James, completely avoidable. Open your mouth. Speak. You've been at the club 7 years. You shouldn't be afraid to scream at somebody. What authority do you have in the squad if you feel like you cannot open your mouth to scream at Eric Dyer to come across, who then can scream at Romero to come across, or scream at Højbjerg and Bentancur to fill in? You've been here 8 years. You can't be afraid to speak to people, for God's sake.
I know.
God give you a voice. Use the damn thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what, David? We need you in defence. You bloody, you give them hell.
Telling you.
We're not conceding another goal from a corner if David was there.
I'd be the first one to go for me, especially if I made the mistake. You know
what I mean?
Made
So
the mistake.
take some responsibility, you kids.
Yeah,
that's all we're asking.
Talk to each other. Look, 3. It wasn't just one man; it was 3 that could have scored.
I mean, Chris.
Annoying.
Chris put here, Luis should be more commanding of his area as captain. Should be more directing the team. What do you say to that? I'll start with Jack.
Luis is 50 yards back.
Huh?
Luis is 50 yards back on his goal line.
What can he do? I mean, he always shouts, away, away.
What do you want to do? Give him a megaphone. You know, wait there. I'll just turn it on, make sure it's switched on, lose my concentration from the game, and scream into it. I mean, Jesus Christ. Look, yes, Lloris is the captain, Could he have? Did I want him coming out as far as where Koulibaly got his goal from? No. I don't want him out to the edge of the box. The defenders and the players out there should be capable enough of clearing it. You know, I don't put that on him whatsoever. What was he supposed to do for Reece James's goal today? None of them goals were Hugo Lloris's fault. But like, he's 50 yards back. They're not going to hear him. There's a crowd. There's an atmosphere. There's chanting. I've been behind the goal. You abuse that opposition keeper. You know, Dyer's not going to hear him up the field, and that's why it's important. Look, there should be a leader in goal, a leader in the back line, a leader in midfield, and a leader up front. Yeah. That's what it should be.
Yeah, where was Dyer for our second goal? He was nowhere to be found. He was nowhere. He was in cloud cuckoo land as well. At least Davis tried to stop Reece James, but he's just too late.
Over the years, we've had great teams. We've had a captain at the back, a captain in midfield, and a captain up front. We've had leaders in the team that will take responsibility. Graham Roberts, Paul Miller, Gary Mabbott. We had players in the 80s that took Steve Perriman, who was our captain, but other players will step up to responsibility. If he's not doing that, then I'm going to tell him. There was one game, I think Graham Roberts was playing, and he rollicked Ozzy Idealis for not doing his job correctly.
That's right.
And he's not the captain.
Just because you're Ozzy Idealis don't mean you're free of getting a bollocking if you're not pulling your weight or doing your job.
Jack, and then I go to you, Leo. Jack, and you, Alec. Jack, do you feel we've bought players, but we've bought players that they don't feel they can speak up? How can we change that mentality that we get these leaders that in the dressing room, there's more than one captain on the field, if you know what I mean? Dave made a very good point at that.
I think we do, though. Like, I think it's just in this game in particular, I think they were, found hiding. Because what I do kind of question, though, is that most of the players that we do have in our team, compared to maybe clubs like Arsenal, are actually the captains of their national team. So Sonny's the captain of his national team. He doesn't just get that, I think, just because he's super good and just because he's, the best looking guy on the team. I think, they give it to him because, he's clearly actually a leader. And I think we've even seen some, I think it's not, it's, I don't know. It's, I feel like he looks like a good captain. Maybe he's not the best sort of captain for the team, but I think we've seen, his motivational speeches for that, Korean national team. And, you see the captain in him, there for when he's playing for them. So he obviously has it for Spurs. Kane is the captain of the England team, whether you like it or not. He is one of the captains of the England team. And then in the case, I think Bentancur, I would imagine actually probably could actually be a captain maybe quite soon. In the case of Uruguay. Højbjerg, is he the captain for Denmark? I think he might be. I think he could be also the...
Might be a co-captain. Yeah, might be a co-captain.
Co-captain or is the captain, for Denmark there. You kind of... And then Ben Davies, is close to being, probably one of the captains or leaderships, I would imagine, in Wales as well. So we actually have more players with experience as being the captain for whatever team they happen to play for, or even... in some sense or form with Spurs. And what I agree with Dave that, they don't make their voice heard. They find themselves quiet. And today, especially, they were hiding. But the perplexing part, or like the confusing part is we have more captains in this team than most squads do. Like, and I even have said, this is a slight tangent and I don't want to go too long about it. But when people even talk about the World Cup, they're like, oh, like, I'm so worried how our squad's going to get affected. I always say, like, well, you should look at our squad. Like, most of our players are the captain of their national teams. Like, that means they're going to be playing, like, majority of the games, for their team. So we actually do have a lot of leaders in our squad, and I am maybe a bit perplexed, you could say, why maybe we don't have somebody, stepping up and, holding people accountable, like Dave says. Because we have more leaders in this team than Arsenal do, than Man United do, than Chelsea even do, than I would even say Man City do for most parts.
Can I just say I'm really laughing at Man United at the moment. I just find it the most funniest thing ever watching them where they are.
Before we sidetrack with Man United, I just want to add something quickly to what Jack has said. Now, Davies, this is my problem. Davies can't open his mouth, realise he's in danger, and scream at Dyer to come across and help him. But yet, he was the same guy that went into a press conference after Europa League game and blamed the atmosphere, blamed the pitch, blamed Nuno, blamed my missus, blamed my father. You know what I mean? Like, so Dyer has come out and spoke plenty of times after managers have been sacked. They're well able to open their mouth in the papers. Why is it not happening on the football pitch? You're well able to do it when you want to find excuses and go hide.
Yeah.
Do it where it counts on the bloody football pitch. And that's why I don't give Davies a free pass. That's why. Open your mouth. You're well able to blame the atmosphere out in fucking Holland, which you should be doing half asleep anyway, playing through that, you know. But yet you can't scream to get someone to come over and give you a hand to try and prevent a goal. It boggles my mind. It just boggles my bloody mind.
I mean, when he blamed the pitch, Dave, for that game last year, I mean, you were on there and you said...
the worst one. You know, you go into every stadium with an atmosphere, but yet the atmosphere got to them on this day.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, what did these fishes do? Forget to put the whites in. You know, it's ridiculous.
You said it last year yourself.
The pitch is the same for everybody, isn't it?
If he played on some of the pitches over here, he'd be pulling his hair out. Ellie, how important is Romero and Bentancur to our team?
They're very important because the things they bring to our side. You've got the silky skills of Bentancur, and he's class. When he receives the ball, he knows what to do with it. You know, maybe not so much today, but he done a fantastic tackle on Havertz to win us the ball, and it led to a goal eventually. So these little things in games can change games. They might not be the be-all and end-all of every match that we play, but Romero, he's solid as well, and I like his shithousery. I like he gets into the opposition's faces. I love it. I love all the way he just looks at the player to say, yeah, come on then. You know, he's such a... He should be our captain, I think, Romero, because he leads by example. I love him, you know, and the way he gets everybody fired up, because when they see that, they up their game. They actually get a fire in the belly, all the other team members. You could see it in the second half when Romero did that headbutting, like a ball headbutting with Havertz. You know, you could see the other players would say, look, we've got a chance here. If we rattle them, we can get back into this game. And you know what? If that game went on another 5 minutes, I think we would have won that. Yeah.
You know, over here, there's a term that we use a lot, and it's basically there's too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. And that's kind of how I feel about the Tottenham squad. You know, everybody wants to be like the main cheese, but there's not enough people to just follow suit, which is good. Like, name another team that has that many captains in their squad. It's hard to come across, but at the same time, when you get all them egos just bumping heads, not even egos, but it's just when you don't have the one, you know, the one chief out of all of them. Hugo Lloris is a wonderful captain, but I think we need a captain further up. A good shout would be a Romero for sure, because he does lead by example.
He does.
I'm even, you know, like, and somebody even in the midfield, if we get somebody, you know, Højbjerg's a good shout just because of the way he demands his. And I'm not saying this just to grease the wheels with Ellie. I mean, Højbjerg is a good shout for being a captain, you know. But we just need somebody that's going to be in the middle. Yes, and you know, ever since Ellie, I start talking to you and I hear your points about Højbjerg, I actually start paying more attention to his side of the game and his off the ball movements and his off the ball activities, and I definitely agree. We need somebody who's not afraid to put their foot forward, not afraid to put their foot down. You know, Lloris is too far back. I think Kane would be too far in front, and so you guys. We're not going to get too ahead of ourselves. I don't look at it as if we drop points. I look at it as if Chelsea dropped points. We did really good. We showed some tenacity. We showed some balls when we came back and twice. I think we just have a little bit of tweaks that we need to make still. Yes, ma'am. We just have a little bit of tweaks that we need to make to our team, and we're going to be firing all cylinders from now on. One important thing was definitely having, like I alluded to earlier, was having, you know, the emotion of our manager come out. Hopefully, you know, hopefully the message gets through to the rest of the lads. as far as Romero and Bentancur, I think their importance is by far second to none. Those two guys have been class since they've joined us. You call them Juventus rejects, call them whatever you want, but they're Tottenham players, and they definitely love to put the shirt on. You could tell that both of them they're enjoying their football in London. They're enjoying their football playing for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah,
And
I
it's just
agree.
showing. It's showing. I definitely hope to see a future captain in Romero. Just because I'm pretty sure I think he'd have to learn a lot more English first, but still, I mean, I could see him commanding the rest of them guys fairly well. I would definitely have no issues myself being in that team, paying attention and listening and following suit to what Romero is saying.
Yeah.
It's funny,
Romero talks the language of shithousery. That's what he
Yeah.
talks.
when it comes to Højbjerg, people need to start looking at Højbjerg a bit the way they viewed Roy Keane at Man United. Not the best player technically by any means, but when the going gets tough, he will pull you through a game and he will always stand up and be counted. I've seen the guy bollock people. And the reason why I say there's no excuse for Dyer or Davies, Højbjerg's in the squad a lot less than them, but he's bollocks people. Perisic on the sideline today. I've seen him pulling over, I think it was Sonny and Højbjerg, had a word with the two of them. You know what I mean? He's only here less than a few months. So there's no excuses for these other players. But when it comes to Højbjerg, I think Jack will agree on this. People need to start thinking of him as like a Roy Keane figure in our squad.
Yeah. And also, can I add to that, right? Højbjerg, you hardly ever find him out of position, and he's so focused. He always helps out his fellow defenders as well. He puts himself on the line. He done 2 fantastic blocks today, and that's normal for him. But he doesn't get the praise from our fans. They always look on the negative side of Højbjerg. But his passing is on point as well. He done 3 fantastic passes today, right? And they didn't lead to goals. If they'd led to goals, fans would have a different perspective, you know. And also his goal. What a fabulous goal. He got us back into the game.
It was smart. He shot it through a bunch of bodies, you know, made it confusing. He actually timed it, you know, intentionally that way, you could tell, where he knew that, you know, there would be a bunch of bodies in the way, you know, to make it confusing for the keeper. It can go any which direction. It could have gone near post, you know, went far post. He aimed at far post, you know, which may show that, you know, it was a good finish, but at the same time, you know, that could have bounced any direction. And, you know, and he hit it low as well. He hit it low as well, which shows how intentional it really was from him. You know, if he had hit it, you know, with a bit of, you know, like sting, you know, to go high, you know, probably would have been a lucky goal. But the fact that he hits it low with that much venom means it can like be a nasty deflection, like any which direction.
I tell you what, my neighbours are going to be moving out because when that goal went in from Højbjerg, I screamed the house down. Oh my God, I went crazy. It's an elation. And when Kane scored, I was thinking of you, David. I was thinking of you because he didn't have a particularly good game for Kane standards, but he came up trumps at the end.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's why you're foolish to criticize Harry Kane. Anyone that criticizes him, it's foolish.
I mean, I said it today, Dave. I said it to Philip. I said it to Ellie. I think he even said it to his hand. When you need him, he is there for you. You can criticize him all you want, right? For me, start of last season, I put it down to he was tired mentally and physically from the Euros and the Man City thing. He was still giving his 100% for the club, and he did come to good in the end. But for me, you never count that man out. He reminds me of Jimmy Greaves of Gary Lineker. You put the ball in the right area, he will put it in the back of the net for you.
Yeah,
and that's what Jimmy Greaves. That's why I link Harry Kane to Jimmy Greaves, because Jimmy Greaves did the same thing. You wouldn't see him for 80 or 85 or 88 minutes of a match. The 89th minute, that ball him in the back of the net. Win the game or get your point.
And we've got to give Sonny some praise as well. Although he had the stinker of a match, because he did. He done 2 assists, and that cross to Kane was fabulous.
No, that was Perisic.
That was Perisic.
Was it Perisic? I thought it was Sonny.
Perisic.
Oh, right, Sonny
got took off.
Oh, okay. So, I'm giving him too much credit then.
Yeah.
I think that assisted Højbjerg, I believe. He gave him a little
fantastic cross by Perisic then. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll start with you, Jack, and then I go to you, Dave, then Ellie, then you, Leo. Sonny, he hasn't had the best of seasons. Ended last season as the Golden Boot top scorer. Hasn't started well this season. Do you put that down to of the summer of the end of last season, a bit of hangover from that, and the pre-season, or do you put it as just one of them things? He was going to have a tough start to this season anyway, and he will come good. It's Sonny. He always comes good. What do you think? It's just one of these things. Everyone goes through a bad patch.
I think Sonny's always going to come good. I'm probably not really worried at all. In fact, I think if anything, Sonny's probably his harshest critic. But I feel like Leo, I want you get more of a say in. So Leo, how about you kind of take my question for me? Man, do you feel like Sonny? Are you a bit worried? Because he was probably worse. Dermot's question, right? He was probably worse even today than he was, even against Southampton.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's too much of a hangover. I just think like different strokes for different folks. Different circumstances bring out different situations, bring out different circumstances. And at the end of the day, it's a team effort. It's a game of two halves with 11 players on your team. It's not just 11 Sunnies out there. So yeah, I mean the thing about our squad is if Sonny's not going to be able to pick up the slack, if he is slacking at all, well then Perisic could come in, or let's throw Richarlison on the wing. So I'm not too worried about. If we hadn't brought anybody in this offseason, then I definitely would be worried because let's be real, guys. We had to focus a lot. We had to rely a lot on Kane and Sonny's contributions last summer, but. Last year, but now we have a lot of people, and hopefully, when the cog is not turning on as it should be, somebody could step in and take that position without any type of hiccups. And it's looking like that's going to be the way it is.
Yeah,
Sonny takes a while to get going too, you guys. He's like Kane, all of our players take a while to get going. Last year for the longest while. Sonny's first touch was off, in my opinion. He'd always bobble that first touch, and he ended up pulling through at the end of the season and still won the Golden Boot. Although he shared it with Mo Salah, but he still scored a lot of goals. And at the end of the day, guys, are we relying on Sonny to make goals? Or are we relying on Sonny to contribute to the goals? Because if we're relying on him to score goals and that's it, then we're gonna be screwed. But as long as Sonny can chip in, maybe not put him in the back of the sack, but he's contributing to the assist, or what I like to say, the pre-assist to the assist. He gives that ball to the player that then gives the assist, and then it's okay. Then it's okay. This is our second game of the season. Am I worried about Sonny? No. Do I think he should stop posing for magazines and doing all this extracurricular shit? Probably. But I mean, at the end of the day, go get your paper. I'm not mad at you for getting your money.
I liked that extracurricular shit as a woman.
Yeah,
Just saying,
Jacob does too. Jacob is probably one of Sonny's biggest fans, and so I see Jacob in the chat. I know another reason for Jacob to hate on me, but maybe if he stops doing that extracurricular shit and focusing more on his first touch and his shooting, maybe he is going to be contributing more. But look, you guys, I'm not hating on him whatsoever. I think that he's pulling his weight. It's just, let's be real. We've come so used to Sonny swinging way higher than what he's doing that when he doesn't, we're kind of harp on him. And I mean, is it fair? Is it not fair? It is what it is, but let's just, if this happens for 7 more games, then yeah, I'm going to be worried.
Yeah.
I love what William Kelly said there because, it's kind of what we were saying at one stage, in the watch long where let's say, Kane or Son, one of them isn't having, the best of games, Richarlison can come on and replace one of them. But the point is that you keep one of the world-class players on the pitch, in the front line, Kane or Son. And, whichever situation, there might be a situation where Sonny actually might be better to play maybe alongside Richarlison than maybe a Kane. Maybe who knows? Kane, Dave's shaking his head. But
don't think Kane ever gets taken off.
The point resting is that you don't take off one of your world-class players. But if one of them isn't having a good enough day and you do need something different, you do bring on now Richarlison. And I think that's what's nice is that we can go to something different. And we went to like a long ball 4-4-2 sort of system. And I liked, that, Conte could switch that. William Kelly, absolutely right. Because if one of them is not having a good game, you just don't. We used to have to just persist with it. We just have to think like, all right, this time, you know, he's going to have a good touch, or this time he's going to be able to play the through ball, you know, not overplay it or whatever. And it's just, you know, eventually you just feel like it's just not their day. And, you know, that's why we can now be able to bring on someone like a Richarlison if it just isn't their day. We used to have to persist with it and just expect them just to miraculously, you know, just turn around their form in that game, which is so hard to ask.
I'd like to add something to that, because Sonny, right, he's not really good when he's got back to goal. What he's good at, which we should have played to his strengths, is when you put the ball over to Sonny and he's running onto it, he's fabulous and he'll score you a goal. I don't think he's particularly good with his touch. You know,
we were asking him to hold it up a lot.
Yeah, he's not that sort of player. He's the sort of player where you play him in, or he takes the ball himself and runs at the defence. He's fabulous at doing that. Like when he got checked by James. Very, very, I hated James for doing that, because he pulled Sonny and he had one defender. When he's on the run, no one can stop him. When he's played through by Kane with a chip over the defence, he's fabulous.
But what
We've
I will
got to
say
play
is,
to his strengths to get the best out of him.
Just to add to that as well, but at the same time, Sonny's going to have to be expected to be Mark Clausen this year. He won the Golden Boot last season.
Yeah.
They're not just going to leave him roam free like they did last season and put all their attention on Harry Kane. He's going to be picked up. These markers going to be told, get up his hole. Don't let him get turned. Don't let him run at you. That's where he's most dangerous. So now it's up to Son to adapt his game and find that way to wiggle away. He can't keep getting the ball dislodged and putting us under pressure like that. He's going to have to learn to deal with the ball back to goal, because teams are going to get straight up behind him. They're not going to let him get turned. It's where he's going to kill you.
We can do that in training, David. They'll work on it with him, I think.
Yeah,
because it is a bit of a weakness of his.
But what else I will say is, look, I'm not worried about Son whatsoever. Now, I could go on like the Sun fans did last year with me with Harry Kane, but that's not very mature to do, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be fair.
No.
Stick with Son. He's going to do you good in the very end. No need to make a big thing out of it. We know what to expect from Sonny, so I'm calm.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think he had a big season last year winning the Golden Boot. He's been busy this summer, and don't forget the season has started early as well. And there's a World Cup coming on. So there's a lot of pressure on him commercially for him being the captain of his national side with the World Cup coming up.
Yeah.
So it's going to take mentally and physically. When you're mentally tired, that's when you're physically tired. Son will come good.
And he's got a fantastic dad to help him in that respect.
Maybe the questioning was probably a bit theatrical. Is Son's performance, worrying? But for me, we're so used to
Son. Question.
We're so used to Son turning the style on every game. Being there, getting the goals. Him and Kane linking up, and I think every striker goes through a phase. Harry Kane's gone through a phase. Son will go through his phase. Richarlison will go through a phase. But to have the mixture there, to bring Son off and Richarlison on, you never take Kane off. I'm not just saying that because Dave's here. You don't take your Jimmy Greaves type player off. The man that is going to be your club's record goal scorer this season or start of next season. But Son will come good. Mark my words, Son will be up there in the goal chart before the end of the season. But for me, I think Harry Kane will win the Golden Boot this year, but Son will push him very close.
Yeah,
and the good thing about Sonny as well, he's got a good heart for the club. He loves our club, so he'll want to do much better the next game. And I'll put my hat on it actually that he's going to get at least a brace in the next match against Wolves.
Yeah. Lads, I would love to get your player ratings of the team today, and I'd love to get your thoughts. Your play rate? So, Jack, I'll start with you. I've got the team here. I'll get the substitutes up as well for you as well. Hang on, I'll get the team there first. Right, what's your play rating for the teams, for the players today for the starting 11?
Lloris, I'd probably give a 5. He, let 2 goals in. I don't really recall too many spectacular saves he really made. Then again, he didn't look too shaky in possession either. So I'd give him just a 5. I don't even think that's harsh at all. When it comes to Romero, that wasn't really one of Romero's best performances, despite his brilliant shithousery, with Cucurella as well as Havertz. I would also give him a 5. I would give him a 5, maybe even a 4. Dyer,
Wow.
I'd give a 5 or a 6.
What game are you watching, Jack?
I know. Come
Inside
on.
Inside joke. Dyer, I'd give a 5 or a 6. Davies, I'd give a 4 or 5, like Dyer or like Romero. Sorry, just thought kind of equally unimpressing, unimpressive. And then right wing back, Emerson, I thought had a slightly better performance than Sessegnon, but really wasn't that good at the end of the day. I think I'd also give him a 5 and maybe Sessegnon a 4 or 5, maybe both 5s for them. But just Emerson with the slight nod. Yeah, both of them 5s. And then in the case, actually no, Sessegnon I'd stick with a 4. Stick with a 4 with Sessegnon, just because I just don't even think he was good defensively at all.
Rubbish.
Whereas Emerson was good defensively at the end of the day. We always know that he's good defensively. He's just can be garbage, going forward at certain moments.
Still can't cross the ball though.
And it's still hit better crosses than Sessegnon did at the end of the day. Like I said, center mid, Højbjerg. Højbjerg really recovered. 6, 5. I give him a 5 or a 6 too. So
You've
many
got to
5s.
give him a 8. That's harsh. That's really harsh.
I just thought Ellie he was very poor in the first half. Ellie, he was very poor in the first half, as much as the whole squad was, and that's why I'm giving the whole squad a very similar rating, because I kind of thought they were all kind of equally poor. I don't really. That's the whole point that Dave and I were trying to make in the watch along, is that there weren't really that many people that were significantly worse than others. Like they just kind of felt all equally worse or equally hiding, in kind of the game in the first half at least.
Yeah.
So I would give Højbjerg. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's harsh. Maybe for the goal, I'll give him a 7. For the goal, I'll give him a 7. Kane, same 7. Sonny, 4. Kulusevski, 4, 5.
Yeah. I'll give him a 2.
I just saw Kulusevski yet again, and I said this to Dave. Kulusevski kind of yet again found trouble against Cucurella. Like Cucurella is a very good defender.
Had him in his pocket, didn't he?
He seems to, yet again though. Like he did it at left-sided center back to him, and now he's done it at wing back, to him, which just kind of shows, a lot about how good maybe Cucurella is, defensively. Mm. But yeah, most of the players I think just get the same rating, like in my book, because I just don't really think they were all that worse than each other, but not all that better than each other.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thank you very much, enough. Dave. What's your play rating for the players and subs?
You go 5. Don't think he really done that and wrong. Romero 5. Eric Dyer, I'd give him a 6. To be fair, I thought he was the best across the back line. Ben Davies, I'd give a 4. I thought was atrocious. Emerson Royale, I'd give a 5. I think he was better defensively. Not too much came down his side compared to Ryan Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon, I'd give a 4. Done nothing defensively, nothing going forward. Thought he was atrocious. Bentancur, I would probably give a 5, and that's being generous, if I'm being quite honest. Højbjerg, I'm going to give an 8. He stood up, played some lovely balls through in the second half, got the goal, so I'm going to give him an 8. Kulusevski, look, I'd probably give him a 4 or 5. Again, didn't get much joy, kind of gave away the ball for the second goal. Harry Kane, I'd give an 8. He scored. That's what he's there to do. He's done his job. And Son, I'd give a 4. Thought he was atrocious.
No, I agree.
Fair enough. And Leo, what's your play ratings for today's team?
Yeah, very, very similar to these two these two gentlemen. I'm just gonna go for an overall average of. I'll be fair with a 6, and that's because there's a couple there that did have some 8s, i.e. Harry Kane and Højbjerg as well. Højbjerg, like I said, the more I speak with Ellie, the more and more I watch Højbjerg off the ball, the more and more I pay attention to what he's doing, and he played good. By far better than Bentancur. One shot is for Emerson Royale. He stayed on his feet when he needed to. He didn't go to ground that easy anymore, and he played a couple. He had a couple of good tackles, and he didn't really do too much that we expected that he would do. If you guys know what I mean, he didn't he didn't let us down like we're accustomed to. So yeah, I'm just gonna look for just to keep it real. I'm just gonna go average rating of 6 throughout the board. And like I said, with exceptions being Harry Kane and Højbjerg, both with the 2 goal scorers, and maybe a 6.2 for Emerson.
Definitely.
I just want to say we need more Højbjerg sympathizers like Leo here.
Ellie.
You know, Jack, he listens to people and he goes and studies the game and says, "Oh yeah, I do see that," or "I don't see that." You know, and he doesn't just fall into the narrative that Højbjerg's a bad player. I absolutely love that. In fact, Jack and Ellie, what they should do is to start selling Højbjerg classes. If you don't see it, come to Jack and Ellie and they'll make sure.
I think Ellie though is a much braver, Højbjerg, defender. But maybe Dave, I'm speaking so much these days. I have to deal with so many Højbjerg haters that I have to kind of just give in a bit, so they don't all just hate me. But what I would just say quickly on Emerson before we get Ellie's player ratings, but I would just say quickly on Emerson that just came to my mind. I feel like it's nice to finally see the narrative that Emerson is a good defender be actually accepted, because there were so many people last season that were saying, oh, he's garbage, going forward, he's garbage defensively and everything. It's like, no, he's not. He's never been garbage defensively. He's always looked good. If you actually watch him every single time in most one-on-one situations, coming up against tough players. And also, I do remember last season, everybody was saying, oh, Emerson's getting targeted. Emerson's getting targeted. It's like, he's getting targeted, but there's nothing really happening down that side. Like, he just wins the ball, plays it out for a throw-in every single time. At each moment that a player tries to size him up in a one-on-one situation, he either just shows them out for a goal kick, or he just wins the tackle easily in the one-on-one situation. You never see, Dave, Emerson getting chopped up, getting spin left and right, not knowing where the player is. The player could do 7 step-overs in front of Emerson, and he just wins the ball. He is an exceptional one-on-one defender. And I feel like I'm kind of tired of that narrative from last season. And I'm kind of happy to see that it's not coming, very much at least from what I've seen this season. People are kind of noticing that Emerson is at least a good defender. Maybe he really does disappoint in possession, but we do know that he's not going to get, chopped up left and right, by, whatever player he comes up again. Where in comparison, Sessegnon did get kind of, mixed, a few different times. Yeah, he got mixed a few different times in this game, and you don't really say that with Emerson. Who really mixes Emerson, or is able to, take it past him easily?
Same age, aren't they, Jack? Sessegnon,
Exact same age.
Yeah. And if Emerson was so bad as fans think that they talk about, why is Conte constantly playing him then? There must be something. Yeah. Conte seeing something in him, and I see something, like Jack said, that he defends very well. And he's a hard-working lad. He puts in a shift. He doesn't go missing, right? And a lot of the play, it can be improved, but he's working on it, the lad. But defensively, I agree with you, Jack. He's solid.
I'm never worried. I genuinely, when I see Sterling sizing him up, I just, you can see the way Emerson is positioning. Even Dave would know, as a much better footballer than me. You see how he positions himself. You see how he reads, where he shows him. You know what? He's a good defender. Well. He's fundamentally sound as a defender. And he also is strong. So when the player does try to touch it in front of him, he has the pace to then just show it out for a goal kick. How many times do you see Emerson just bodying the guy and just letting it roll out for a goal kick? He probably does that at least 3 times a game. He does that at least 3 times a game.
Yeah.
What I will also say is, look, we can go back to Serge Aurier if people aren't happy. Let's bring him back in, give away all them free kicks.
Oh, Lord Jesus, don't please.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Honestly, people forget who was brought in here to replace. Since he's come into the team, do them mistakes happen down that side that were happening with Serge Aurier week in, week out?
That's right. And we made top 4.
About Emerson, then go back and get Serge Aurier, who could not defend. At the end of the day, he's brought in as a right wing back. He's defensive first. Okay, you have problems with him going forward, but defensive first, and that's what he's there to do at the end, and he does it exceptionally well.
Look, I wasn't his biggest fan last season. I'll hold my hands up and admit that. There's many times I've gone onto your show, Dave, and I've slighted him. But over the summer,
you want Serge Aurier back?
No, I said over the summer I've become an Emerson liker. I like what he does. He is great defensively, but for all that's mercy, he still cannot cross a fucking ball.
You know what he should do?
I give him
He
credit.
should just
Oh,
pass
he
it
put
to
in one.
Kulu. Just
He
pass
put
it
in
to
one
Kulu
delicious
who
ball.
can cross.
He put in a delicious ball today. Harry
Yeah, he
Kane
did.
just
He
didn't
did.
get in there.
I
That was a
know.
brilliant ball. It was in
That's what I
perfect
said,
zone.
David. I
I
said
did. I
it was a
looked
really good
twice.
ball he put in.
It's a brilliant
I had
ball.
to look
It was on the-
twice. What's that from Emerson? I did, but I do like him defensively. Jackie, Ellie, you are right. He's a big
Yeah.
improvement than what we had. And
Do you know?
And this season I've become a fan of his. I think what happened in pre-season in South America as well. I think we got to see more on social media, and the more you see of him, the more you got to like him. Yeah, the more he's very likable, Emerson, and the more you like him, the more you think, all right, I'll give him a chance. And when you give him a chance, and he puts in a great performance defensively, you're thinking, right, Conte gets him. If Conte can change, who's that player into a great win back? Moses. He could do the same with Emerson. So, let's give the lad a chance. He's only a young lad. He's a good defender. He can become better.
It's just as much as I love progressive football and whatnot, I do like, as a Spurs fan, knowing that Emerson, I just feel most confident with him as our wingbacks for defending. Like, I would rather have him than any of our wingbacks in a one-on-one situation with any forward. Like, even if he does get burned, even if he does get roasted, I'd still pick him time after time ahead of Sessegnon, ahead of anybody, because I think today even proved, like, Emerson, I said to Dave, had a tougher assignment than actually Sessegnon did. Sessegnon came up against Ruben Loftus-Cheek with, like, Mason Mount drifting inside, every once in a while. So really it was just Ruben Loftus-Cheek and then Reece James occasionally making overlapping runs. Like, whereas Emerson had, I think, Sterling as well as Havertz and Cucurella, mostly deal with lots of times. And I thought that was a much tougher assignment. And again, he didn't really seem too flustered with it.
Yeah. Before we go, we are going to finish up now. I've really enjoyed this because Dave needs to go and have something to eat. Bless him. He's been on the go. Jack needs to go and have a cold beer and kick back and relax like some
Jack also
Budweiser.
Yeah, we haven't eaten in a while.
Leo needs to go and celebrate the rest of his birthday. Me and Ellie needs to go and just shout more for
I need
Goldberg.
to go and do the washing up from the barbecue.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to go and find the loads of painkillers and see can I take this rotten headache away. So we're all going to finish up soon, guys. Very quickly, we've got Wolves next Saturday, Dave. Conte's going to be, I think, banned for that. Is that going to be a problem? Just very quickly.
No, not whatsoever. Look, them Wolves are hungry. We're going to feed them, Dermot. Doesn't matter whether Conte's there or not. Them players better do the bloody job, because at the end of the day, whether Conte's there or not, even whether he's there on the training pitch or not, he still expects them to do things the right way. And if they don't, he's going to bollock them tenfold if they don't do it when he's not on that sideline. So for me, I have no problem. I think them players respect them, but also have a little bit of fear. They'll perform. Don't worry about that.
They always stay. They always from last year. They really do.
Definitely.
Last year. And Jack, the same. And then can you send me the link for your channel, Jack? And Dave, also, I've got the link for you. Plug the Irish Hotspur as well. So I put your thing in the chat. And Jack, if you can send me the link for the flat cap as well.
I think Stellini, or Ryan Mason, I think are probably fully capable of, kind of being, Conte's side man, on the sidelines. I think, they have some experience doing it, of what probably since Stellini's been with Conte so long, he's definitely not, surprised to see Conte sent off every once in a while. I think, this isn't the first rodeo where, he's had to be on, the touchline. And then Ryan Mason, we know, has had experience being thrown into, a cup final, last minute. So I think, they're fully capable of stepping in. And then, like Dave said, on top of that, I think Conte will be talking to them, before the game, via Skype or whatever. And then also, at halftime, and then obviously at full time if things don't maybe go the right sort of way. And then as well, I feel like Wolves at home, this is probably the best time for it to really happen. I mean, maybe it could be an easier team, but you can't have everything go your way. I think this is, a pretty good time for it to happen if it were to happen.
And I'd be quite happy with 7 points out of the first 3 games, to be fair. If somebody offered me 7 points from the first 3 games, I think I would quite happily take that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Dave, do you want to plug your channel? And Jack, can you send me the link to your channel in the private chat? Go on.
Sure, Dermot.
Go on.
No, look, I'm not going to plug mine. What I will say, everybody, is first of all, get behind this channel here, THFC Till I Die. Really fun people involved. Dermotron, my rival for number one most passionate Spurs fan, aka Ellie, and Godfather, Mr. Brady as well. So, guys, make sure you smash the subscribe here and the like button. Also, check out Flat Cap Your Talk. It's getting lots of people through this transfer window, so check that out.
Yeah.
But most importantly, let's get off to Mile High Spurs. Mr. Leo here. It's not an easy thing to do, get involved and put your whole life out there, yourself out there and everything else. It's not an easy thing to do. And it's great to see more and more Spurs content creators come forward, because when I got into this game, there was very, very few Spurs channels around. It was always United, Liverpool, Chelsea, and all. I'm absolutely delighted to see more and more people coming out of the woodwork with their channels. So, Leo, best of luck, happy birthday, and get over there and check out My Life Spurs.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Real quick, Dermot, if you wouldn't mind. And David, I know you're in a rush, so I'll be quick. Are you guys familiar with the reason why my channel is called Mile High Hotspur? You might know. Jack might know.
Colorado.
Jack might know.
Colorado.
Yes.
Yeah, so high off the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're 5,280 feet above sea level, which is exactly a mile. And so Denver is known as the Mile High City. And so when Parker and I wanted to make a podcast, it was just Mile High Hotspur, just rolls off the tongue, and it's really unique to Denver because we're really a mile high above sea level. So, yeah. So
it's great, Leo.
Everyone, please get over to the Irish Hotspur. I don't care what anyone says. That man has been a rock to me personally, privately, and also for this channel. And so is Jack as well.
And to
Jack
me as well. It's always in
brothers,
my heart, Jack and David.
They really have been, personally, the pair of them. They know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They've been there when nobody else was there. And when I needed them two lads were there. So big up, please, everyone get over to their channels. Hit the subscription button on Dave's channel. Hit it on Jack's channel. Please get over to our sister channel in America, Mile High Spurs. Absolutely lovely lads, Parker and Leo. They're one of the nicest lads you can wish to meet. Actually do a fantastic channel. Been on there a few times. Absolutely really enjoyed it. So please, everyone, hit the subscription button. Hit the
High Hotspur. Come and support the lads.
Ellie, I'm gonna let you plug our channel. I'm gonna let you tell people what we've got coming up. This lady, I just want to say personally, this lady is the queen of the Spurs community. Not only what she does for our channel, but she's one of the nicest, kindest ladies you'll ever wish to meet. She puts a lot of work into our channel for social media, for getting us out there. And personally, Ellie, I couldn't do this channel without you. So thank you for everything you do for us. And go on, tell people where they can find us on social.
Obviously, you can find us on here, YouTube, and then you can find us on Instagram. We've got two Instagram accounts, actually. We've got THFC Till I Die, and then we got Glory Spurs, THFC Till I Die. So I'm building both of them because I thought Glory Spurs, it's my era of the glory years. So I had to have something of my own. Plus I've added THFC Till I Die. And also on TikTok and Twitter. Dermot had already started the Twitter account already, but I've sort of built on it by posting loads of stories and funny things. Funny things I pick up during the day on Instagram. I'll post them on Twitter.
She posts a lot of Holberg on there.
Yeah, a lot of Hope, a lot of Sonny, a lot of Kane. Obviously, the 3-star players of our team, right? But I just want to say a big thank you to you, Dermot, as well, because without you, this channel wouldn't exist. And you've had your own personal struggles, and you still managed to get out the channel more often than not. So I'll take my hat off to you. And I'll take my hat off to the Irish Hotspur and Jack in support of you on Euro. I love your statistical shows. They're fantastic. And then there's Leo down in the bottom here, Mile High Hotspur, 5,000 feet above everybody else. And this lad, you should watch his videos. They're fantastic. From that pub, all the passionate Spurs supporters coming from that pub. It depicts what Spurs are all about. We're a big club, and we've even reached Denver in in Colorado, haven't we? And what a fantastic fan group they've got.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It is. Listen, thank you all for joining us tonight. We will be back next week with more content on THC Till I Die. But David will be back tomorrow with the fan show with Jack. I'll be on there. Get your memberships. Get on top of the lads. I'm sure Leo will be back on later tonight. Ellie will be doing what Ellie does. Look, chasing Holberg around Tottenham somewhere and Sonny around Tottenham. So
I've got to find him somewhere, haven't I?
Yeah, you've got to find him somewhere.
Yeah.
But whatever you do, God bless you all. Thank you all for tuning in. We've got a point at the bridge today. Let's not be disappointed. Tottenham are back in country with trust.
Spurs.
The league is ours.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Yes.